everyone, so welcome to another installment of my Revisit With Me series where I re-listen to albums that I really enjoy with you guys just for fun. Today I have decided that I will be revisiting Jaguar by Victoria Monét, and let's just get into it. The first song is going to be Moment. Okay, so my thoughts on this track, it's a really great intro to open everything up. I think that the production is very cool and lush to listen to, and her vocal over top of that is so pleasant and just so well done. And I like the lyrics for this song too, just a great record overall. About the song on Genius It Says, it instantly gives you the feeling of psychedelics and draws you into this other warping world. A lot of my previous projects are more playful and young, so I felt like this was an opportunity to show my more mature side. When I first played for my mom, she was like, "That's you." She felt like it was a different side of me, a side that people who've heard my previous work would be excited to learn about. It's funky and whimsical and psychedelic, especially when the strings come in and it really takes you somewhere. And this is something that I really agree with as well. The production on here is phenomenal. And now onto track 2, Big Boss, Interlude. Okay, so my thoughts on this track, I think that it is a great interlude, something that is short and sweet, and something that I just really appreciate listening to overall. I just really like the production and the places that it goes there, and the way that her vocals go over top of it, and the lyrics as well. About the song on Genius It Says, it'd be natural to assume this song was talking to someone else, someone you want to make feel good. And it can be that, but it can also be sung to yourself. I imagine myself singing it into the mirror like, remember who you are, remember what you have. It's a form of affirmation. It's not being cocky or conceited. It's just like, this is what I feel about myself, and I'm allowed to say it, to be positive about myself. Because sometimes when people say something positive to me, I'll find a way to negate it. If they say I look cute, I'll say, oh, I just woke up. Something to make me feel better about me receiving the compliment. But sometimes it's important to be like, yes I am, or thank you. You know, Big Boss does that in song form. And now onto track 3, Die.
You're saying everything I like. I could watch your lips move all night. Remember someone make you rain for you, something like an ocean wave on you. I wanna see what your head ain't like. Do you know what you're doing? Have a long conversation with me. We can get deep. Is your neck game tight? Do you know how it feels if you love swimming under the sea? I wanna see you rock the boat back and forth, lick the beach, fuck the shore. Legs crack, watch your face, and I take my lap. I just wanna see what your head game like. Do you
Okay, so my thoughts on this track. One that I quite enjoyed listening to, I will say. I feel like the vocal delivery here is particularly really satisfying to listen to. And one thing that I really like is the way that it builds up with the instrumentation, just how more is added and really interesting just to listen to in terms of that. I like the lyrics over top of it. Her vocals are smooth and silky to listen to, so it's something that I just really appreciate compositionally, and it's a great track. About the song on Genius Success, women are an adventure. We are as powerful as oceans, as beneficial as H2O, and as fun as any theme park. Anyone lucky enough to taste that thrill should go all in. Now I playfully invites one to do so. It emphasizes the importance of women getting our pleasure through oral sex. It's not talked about enough from our perspective, and I wanted to break the ice. They say most humans are about 60% water, but I believe women should be 69%, so dive in, baby. My music is based on stuff that I've had to absorb as a woman, and a lot of women have had to hear, whether in music or in life, men saying things that women would be frowned upon for saying, like, I want to see what your head game like. So I felt like it was important for this project to take power back into our hands, say things that we think about and talk about when women get together. It's kind of like Girl, a little gossipy, but it's also about us saying things to others the way they're said to us. I also wanted to use double entendres and to make it clever so that if you played it around your grandmother, she wouldn't be like, turn it off. But when you really think about it and read the lyrics, you know there's deeper meaning going on. And now to track 4, We Might Even Be Falling in Love, Interlude. Okay, so my thoughts on this track. I really like the guitar, I believe, on here particularly. I think that this is such a jam. Again, it's something that is really short, but it's so much fun to listen to all the way throughout. So I just really appreciate it for what it is. The vocals on here are wonderful to listen to, of course. I like the lyrics as well. It kind of would have been interesting to see like how it would have went if she would have like really built this out into a full song. But sometimes it's like, you know, artists try to do that, and sometimes, you know, it just doesn't come to fruition, or it's just better as an interlude. So I really appreciate it for what it is. About the song on Genius Success, honestly, this song just felt like a vibe, and it made me feel like I was in the 70s. This natural, soulful feeling with soft instrumentation. It's a window into my more vulnerable side. A lot of the project songs are more aggressive, just like bluntly aggressive, but this one has a softer side. It feels like a cousin of Dive to me. I'm hoping that people will love the interludes enough that one day I can do a full project of all the interludes from Jaguar and turn them into songs. See, she's real for that. She's real for that. See, I need a full song of this, like I was just saying, like my mind, but I loved it. I really did. And now to track 5, Jaguar.
Supersonic pussycat, just like a jaguar, silky. So let me climb your wood like that. Come here. So fly, insurance with my mind. Hoping you remember me in a fantasy. Never curious about when you feeling that never been scared to keep it real. Jungle fantasy. Supersonic pussycat, just like a jaguar. Let me climb your wood like that. You got that close to come get that. Let's get wild. Supersonic pussycat, like a jaguar. So let me climb your wood like that. You got 9 times to come get that.
Okay, so my thoughts on this. This is such a banger, such a jam, and just such an incredible song overall. And she said the last song was, you know, kind of giving 70s, and I think that this one does as well, just with the instrumentation, with the horns, which I think are brilliant as well. And so I just really love the production on here. I think that it was stellar and just really matches the song. And then I also love her vocals on here, just like the way it starts with all those, you know, vocal layering or harmonies, whatever that's going on there. It's something that's striking, you know, it really pulls you in. And then the way that she builds upon that, and then the progression into the song and the change of tempo. I love when songs do that, and she did it masterfully on this record, so I really love that about it as well. I like the lyrics too. It's just something that feels so confident, just something that feels very, very cool to listen to. One of my favorite songs on this record, 1000%. I just really love this record. And I wanted to take a second to talk about that one performance that she did, and it was like her auditioning for a Silk Sonic and everything, and this was literally whenever she was pregnant, mind you, and she still ate up 90% of the girls in the industry today. She was still giving her choreo, still great vocals, the ad-libs, like she ate that performance performance up. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it down below in the description for you, of course. But yeah, this is like one of the best, you know, like R&B songs to come out in the past few years. Like, this is just pure perfection. I fear it doesn't get much better than this. Like, she kind of slid. About the song on Genius, it says, I honestly don't know where Jaguar came from. It wasn't like I studied the animal. That's why I feel like this song in particular was a gift. It was like a gift from God. Just like, okay, this is going to pop into your head and give you a nice foundation for what you want to do. And ended up sounding really cool and came together in the perfect way. Later on, I brought in a string player and this horn player, Arnetta Johnson. I was adamant about finding a black horn player. My friend choreographed for Beyonce and knew one from her Coachella set. Now that is cool. That Coachella set was history, of course. She introduced me, and then I had her come in and sing her my ideas for the horn parts, and then producer D-Miles sang to her his idea of the horn part, and then we put those two together to make that bridge, added the strings, and it felt like magic. I want to do that a million more times. See, now that is something that is worth noting. D-Mile, one of the best producers. Like, that man is phenomenal. I feel like everything he touches is gold. You know what he did with the Silk Sonic record, of course. And just, yeah, he really ate this record up with the production. So of course, shout out to him, shout out to horn player, shout out to Victoria. Like, this song is it. And now to track 6, Experience with Khalid and SG Lewis. Okay, so my thoughts on this track, decent overall. I feel like the production on it is something that is just really fascinating overall to listen to, and it's something that really grabs your attention listening to it. So I really like the production, something that's very dynamic overall. And I once again like the horns on here, of course. I really can appreciate vocals. I can appreciate what Khalid and SG Lewis bring to the track as well. And I also really like the lyrics for this as well. About the song, it says, we released this song on Juneteenth and during Pride Month, and to me, that's a form of protest, of standing up for yourself and being outspoken. And I had wondered, like, if I release music that feels celebratory and happy, is that dismissive of everything that we're going through? But the answer I came to was no. After discussing it with my team and people I care about, I realized that a lot of people don't have this opportunity. So part of my responsibility is making sure that there is representation in these spaces. In my eyes, it's almost like back in the day when people are walking on the front lines and still singing, "We shall overcome." I'm doing it my way. 2 black artists coming together, unafraid and unapologetic about singing their song. And now on to track 7, Ass Like That. Okay, so my thoughts on this overall, superb track to listen to, something that I really quite enjoyed. I know that I get really repetitive in these videos, but the same things keep coming up in these songs. You know, I just really like the instrumentation once again, the vocals, and the lyrics, and just everything gels together really nicely for me. About the song on Genius, it says, I had goals I wanted to accomplish in the gym, not just for the look, but also for new personal challenges to overcome daily, for discipline, and for health of the only true home I'll have forever. I know with gym work comes comments about my body or suggestions like don't get too buff, but I'm not afraid of being strong. I wanted to be strong enough to talk about my own body the way men do in many rap songs. I reserve and deserve the right to talk about it with or without the world's approval because they never asked for mine. They never asked for ours. I hope this song inspires more women to feel good about the personal goals they set out to achieve and talk about them how they please. Let this song be one of many on the soundtrack to that journey. The song just says freedom. It says, I don't really care about your opinion, about the title, about the song, about the quote unquote radio playability, any of that. I just wanted to write about a body part that's talked about by other people, and that's a form of taking the power back into our own hands. Because when we look into the mirror, sometimes we check our own ass out. We see if we look good in those jeans. We have goals for our own bodies. I just wanted a song that allows people to have that. Also, I love a good old workout anthem because I work really, really hard in the gym. I have a trainer. I make sure that I'm eating healthy, and all these things are a daily focus of mine. So I think it was a way of being honest about what I'm going through. On to track 8, Go There With You. Okay, so my thoughts on the song overall, something that is really compelling to listen to. I just really like where she goes with the vocals. I love the guitar in here particularly. I feel like that's what really stands out to me most. But I really like the groove that the song has as well. And just a great track overall. You know, I really like the lyrics and just everything flows really well for me. About the song, it says, this is another song where I wanted to find the vulnerable side of the sound, something you could really sing into. It feels simple and classic to me, and the guitars add an element that I didn't have anywhere else. After doing Jimmy Kimmel with live guitars, I realized I wanted them to be a part of my stage performance, so I really love that about it. It's also about being realistic. Jaguars can be confident and sexy, but there's still some issues that we're going to want to smooth over. This song gives you a nice realistic window into any relationship when you're going through an argument and need to think about the positive and act on that instead. And now into the ninth and final track, Touch Me.
From hands on the wheel to hands on my thigh, hands on my body. I'm in this places you kiss, girl, it's been too long. And I let them get through, that's the battle, learn them all. Touch me, feel me inside you. Show me that feeling we will take it this far when you kiss me. From me under you to you under me, slow gentle repeat. Don't you hear the sounds that I make as we escalate? You see how we connect, baby, this ain't coincidental. Next time you use your touch screen, you know who you should call this. Touch me inside you, love me, show me. With your hands, with your hands, with your hands, with your hands. Touch me, feel me inside you, love me, show me.
Okay, so my thoughts on this song overall, fantastic to listen to. The vocals on here are top notch, you guys already know. And I really liked how at the last part, it was an acapella moment, and I just love whenever they do that in songs. And so that was something that was really intriguing to listen to just in terms of the vocals, and something that was so satisfying in that regard. And then I really like the lyrics, you know, I think that they are great, and I feel like she's a great songwriter, of course. And I also really love the production, and it was something that was just so like magnetic, and I just really loved everything about this track. About the song on Genius, it says, instead instead of thinking about the song completing the project, I wanted it to be more of a pathway into part 2 for when the project completes itself as an album. It feels like a bit of a cliffhanger to me, ending with the acapella like that. The first track of part 2 starts with an acapella, so it makes a lot of sense when you hear it down the line. But also Touch Me is one of the only songs where you hear me sing a different pronoun. I say girl, I say her. It was really important for me to share that and make that statement so that people, I don't think we get a lot of songs that are directly saying that, especially in a sexual way. I think it's important for music to have that. A lot of times we can make songs applicable to us, but they're not directly being like, this is about a woman. It was a nice element to add, and based on a true story, people who have been around for a minute will pick up on that. And now I wanted to share my favorite songs on the album with you. So I'm gonna say Moment for sure. I also really love Jaguar, of course, and then I will go with Touch Me as well. And now I wanted to share my overall thoughts on this album with you. So I think that this is a stellar record overall. It's something that I really have enjoyed listening to, and it's got so much replay value out of me ever since I first discovered it. And this was one of my favorite albums of 2020 for a reason. I feel like this is one of those rare albums where it's all killer, no filler. And this is something that I will rarely ever say, because for most albums I have at least one song that I would skip. I have no skips on this thing. Every single track is something that I feel like is delightful to listen to. And so I just really like what she tapped into on this specific project. You know, shout out to her as a songwriter. I feel like she's a great songwriter, and I feel like a lot of people don't give her credit for that. You know, I know that she writes with Ariana Grande, and that's actually kind of, you know, a little bit of how I actually got into her music. But you know, she's written a bunch of songs with a lot of different people, and I feel like she never really gets the credit as a songwriter that she deserves, for sure. Also, something worth noting is I feel like some artists today could try writing an album like this and they would fall flat on their face. And the reason why is because of the songwriting. Like I already said, she's a great songwriter, of course, right? But also I feel like whenever people try to write nowadays, it's like they are just not gifted at it at all. They just don't really understand how to write a great song about anything. They couldn't write a song if they're like dependent on it, right? And so a lot of times now whenever people write about sex or whatever, it's just something that is like very obvious. And I like whenever I have the lyrics for the song and they're like a little bit more descriptive, but it's not too obvious, like it's a little bit more like ambiguous, and there's different ways to basically say the same thing. And I feel like Victoria, like I said, is someone who is very underrated, and she just pulls this off so well. So I really wanted to say shout out to her as a songwriter, of course, because like I said, I feel like she doesn't get enough credit, but that's a completely different conversation, of course. And then I feel like she's a great singer as well. I really loved all the harmonies going on all the way throughout this project. I love the vocal layering. I love all the little riffs that she's doing all the way throughout this record, and she just really pays attention to detail in terms of that. And so I really appreciate whenever you listen to something and you're like, okay, they really care about the vocal production, because it's something that I always really listen for in projects, and whenever people are stacking vocals and doing the harmony and stuff, that is something that I highly appreciate, and that's one of my favorite things about this project, of course. I really love the production, so definitely shout out to D-Mile and, you know, the other producers on this record. You guys did your thing. It's something that is so lush and cool to listen to, and I especially love the horns on here. I love the guitar, I love the strings. It was just something that was so well done and very cool overall. And I know that she did like an instrumental version of this album, like something like that. I think it was like a Jaguar Christmas. It was something like that. Hopefully I'm getting the title right. But I thought that that was something that was cool as well. So I really like just the arrangements for this album. I think that they really stand alone, and then what she does over top of it, like, it's just a dream to listen to. So I really love that as well, right? And then I also really can quite appreciate the fact that this album is short and sweet. It's not going to run on forever, and I feel like that is very important. I love whenever artists know, okay, I have 9 or 10 songs and that's it, and they don't just, you know, stick a bunch of songs in there because, oh, I finished it and we need more songs. Like, I love whenever they know right to cut it off. And so, you know, sometimes whenever you want to listen to music and you're like, okay, I don't have an hour right now to listen to an entire album, like I want something short and sweet to listen to, this is one of the first things that comes to my mind every single time. And it's just always such a pleasant listen. It's something that I welcome. And I feel like this was one of the best albums of 2020, and it will be one of my favorite albums of the 2020s. Like, I already know that. Like, this just has so much replay value for me. And I think that Victoria is an artist to look out for in contemporary R&B, of course. And I do feel like she's underrated in that regard. Every time we have discussions about all these R&B girls, like people said, why is she not being brought into the conversation? I honestly do not understand that, because she's making better music than 90% of them right now, and you guys never bring her up. So maybe it's like some people don't know. I'm not sure what it is, but she definitely has to be in the conversation for contemporary R&B. Like, most of the girls are not seeing her, if we're honest, and just the writing. And then the vocals that she brings to it are such a treat as well. And so she definitely has to be in that conversation 1000%. Some of my favorite R&B records to come out this past decade. And she's someone to watch out for. You know, she's been very consistent. You know, I've been keeping up with what she's been doing, and I'm waiting for Jaguar Part 2. Where is it? We got Coastin'. I loved that record, I really did. I loved FUCK as well. Like, we got some great moments, and yet no Jaguar Part 2. So I'm just really puzzled. I'm like, maybe she reworked it. Maybe she's just trying to, you know, have everything settled to where she can release it and, you know, the rollout. Maybe she's doing that. Maybe she scrapped it. I don't know. But she's teased it multiple times. You know, even in the Close to music video, she teased it. So I'm like, what happened to that project? Is she still even gonna put it out at this point? Like, I am waiting for new music, please. I feel like if you love R&B music like I do and you haven't listened to this record before, give it a shot. I'm telling you, it is something that hopefully sticks in your rotation and that I think that you will like. But yeah, I'm really glad to be doing another video on Victoria Monét. I've worn this particular shirt in so many videos, you know, talking about other people, and I have done some stuff on her in the past, but I believe I did some video. I don't remember which one it is at this point in time, but someone commented and they asked, they're like, oh, can you do a video on Jaguar? And I'm like, well, I already listened to it because they asked for a reaction, but I was like, maybe I should do like a talking video on it. And so, you know, that was kind of in the back of my mind for a bit. And then this month I was thinking about video ideas and I was like, oh, I should do another video on Victoria Monét because it has been a bit. I feel like this album is underrated and I kind of wanted to do a video talking on it. I feel like it was something that would be fun to do. So thank you to the person that suggested this to me, and I'm glad that I'm finally sitting down doing this. Also, if you wanted to see more videos on Victoria Monét, I will have a card on the screen right here, and that should take you to the playlist of videos I've done on her. It'll be at the end of this video and linked down below in the description. But that is going to be it for my thoughts on Victoria Monét's Jaguar album. And as always, I would love to know what you guys are thinking down below in the comments. What are your favorite songs, memories with the album, interpretations, all that stuff? Leave it down below and let's discuss there because I really like to hear what you guys have to say, of course. But that is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, give it a like down below. It helps me a lot in the YouTube algorithm. I very much appreciate it. You guys can also subscribe right down below if you want to see more videos like this. Give me the bell, you get a notification to your phone when I post and not miss some brand new videos come out. First link down below in the description is going to be my second channel. Subscribe if you want to see more of me on there. And hopefully I have a new video on there like a week or two. I have other projects that I'm working on, but I definitely would like to make more stuff on there. So subscribe if you want to see more of me on there. And then I'm also going to have my Twitter. Like I've been mentioning, we recently did a Twitter space and we were talking about Mariah Carey's Equals MC Squared and Memoirs of an Imperfect Angel albums. And so this was a fun discussion to have and something that was really cool. So if you guys want to hear, you know, maybe my more so updated opinions on the album, hear me talk about it with other people, definitely go check that out. There's a thread on my Twitter called Spaces That I've Spoken In, and if you just hit the search bar and type that up, then it pops up and then you guys can listen to it that way. But you guys should definitely check it out if you love Mariah because it was really interesting. And then I'm also going to have my Instagram, my Spotify, my TikTok, and I will also have a link to stream this record if you're interested down below. And lastly, links to educate you guys on point situations. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.